In January 2025, screenshots and a set of coordinates had a lot of people raising eyebrows on X and Reddit. 34 degrees north, 118 degrees west. It was a rail yard at the intersection of East Cesar Chavez Avenue and North Mission Road in Los Angeles, just north of the Boyle Heights neighborhood. The word "help" was written dozens of times in the corner of the rail yard. They looked like they were spelled using pipes, materials, and debris. It wasn't just the word "help" that was written, though. Toward the middle, you can see Tráfico, LAPD, Federal, Terrorismo, FBI, and DOS. In this context, I think DOS could mean Department of State. Conspiratorial Report on X pointed out that on Street View, the word "help" was written on the sidewalk too, as you can see on their screenshot. What's interesting is that I looked at the same spot today in September 2025, and it had been blurred out. I also saw people talking about a billboard in the area with the same words scribbled on it. Turns out, the billboard is right inside the property. Here's a screenshot someone posted. And here's another angle I found on my own, from February 2023. You can see a similar message on the billboard. Help, FBI, help, ASAP, FBI, urgent. Seeing it on the billboard made me think for a second that maybe this whole thing was one of those weird marketing campaigns or an ARG with a budget, but I don't think that's it. One, there aren't any names or URLs or anything like that. And two, if you look at the bottom of the billboard, there's a ton of graffiti, whereas if you look at other Street View photos, it's just a regular ad. The billboard is cleaned up and there's no graffiti. So I think whoever did it, did so when it was between actual ads. Like I said, the date on the Street View photo was February 2023. As we can see here from an April 2022 photo, the billboard is just black, plain black. Same background as when "help" was written all over it. The discussion about this whole thing quickly fell into three camps. One, it was a prank by teenagers. Two, it was the work of a mentally ill and/or homeless person. Or three, it was human trafficking. The not-so-subtle implication was human trafficking. The report page on humantraffickinghotline.org at the end of January said, "We are aware of viral content being shared on social media and have provided the information to law enforcement. Please only submit this form in regards to viral content if you have information regarding a specific victim or survivor." Coincidence? Well, to be fair, it still says that today, in September 2025, so it's not super clear what viral content they're talking about. Most people, and Occam's razor, pointed to the second option. Reddit user LA Lynx said, "It's been there for a long time. It's a homeless guy that does it also just up the road off the 101 embankment, right by the LAPD helicopter station too. So they were well aware of it." In another post, user Right Thing to Do So Do said, "This is an area with a lot of homeless encampments that's also next to the train station and bus station, with a lot of people going to and from Mexico. It is also right next to the huge Twin Towers jail that is literally our country's largest mental health facility. It's not an area you want to hang out. Being there after dark is quite frightening, but is also where people released from jail and mentally ill or addicted with nowhere to go could easily end up for a while. It would be the perfect place to prey on vulnerable people and take them far away or out of the country quickly. So human trafficking wouldn't surprise me at all. But also, it's an area with a lot of mentally ill people that could be on all kinds of crazy substances that cause psychosis and paranoia. So this could very well just be that." I'm willing to believe the locals. They probably know a thing or two that the rest of us don't. I found an article and a video on ABC7 addressing the mystery. Basically, the LAPD looked into it and found no evidence of criminal activity, and then pointed the finger at a man who had repeatedly trespassed and left the messages. The comments section of that video was pretty skeptical. They didn't like the arguably vague statement that police didn't find anything, and also that ABC7 seemingly censored the words tráfico and terrorismo in their video. I think that's just the shot they chose being blurry though. You can see them on the screenshot in the article, albeit in low res. That was where citizen journalism came in. Curious internet users were quick to check it out. In particular, user LA Guy on X showed up the day after it went viral, January 26th, to look around the property. He found the big help on the southwest end of the yard. He pointed out that there was a hole in the fence for people to get into the yard, and mentioned that it might be teenagers messing around. If he was on the bridge here, then the hole in the fence would be around here. That puts the hole and the words at a corner of the yard that might not be too heavily guarded, because the gate is on the other side here with the road going farther into the lot. He also found a dog tied near the area with a hole in the fence. He tried calling for the owner, but nobody showed during his first video. Eventually, he drove around to the main entrance where he found someone and flagged them down. He had a few questions for them.
Because, like, somebody on the ground wrote a bunch of, like, help.
Help?
Yeah, like...
Oh, yeah, I know.
What is that?
I don't know, man. Every time that it's the big ones, the small ones.
Yeah.
I don't know what is that.
Is it people just messing around?
It's a homeless.
You think so?
Yeah, it's crazy, you know. I seen it. Porque the other day, the guys at construction said, who's fucking making like that one shit, you know? Porque I got a big post like that.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? I know, and the little ones, I don't know who is this.
Okay.
Really, I don't know who is
Okay,
this.
no, I was just wondering.
Soon, another man appeared and he asked him the same thing. Both men knew exactly what he was talking about, but had no idea who was doing it or what it meant, chalking it up to the homeless. He later went back to check on the dog, only to find that it was gone. But then, a woman just happened to be walking by, and he got her attention.
So they're over there talking to somebody right now?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know the dog?
No.
You don't know who owns the dog? You've never seen it?
No, they're all there talking to them right now.
Okay, because he was tied up down here before.
What?
He was tied up down here, yeah.
Wow. I had no idea.
By the way, out of curiosity, do you know who's writing all these help messages and stuff?
So that guy named Jose.
A guy named Jose?
Yes.
He's writing those messages over there?
Yes.
Why is he doing that? Do you know?
He needs help himself.
So it's just like, is he homeless or?
Yeah. I don't know where he's at, but he needs help himself.
So you see that big help sign behind you? He wrote that?
Yes.
Where's Jose? Where does he live? Or where does he
I have no
stay?
idea where he's at.
But you've seen him before?
Yes. Around here. He won't stop. He won't stop.
And he won't stop.
Yes.
So this whole thing is just some guy named Jose doing it?
Yes.
Okay.
Security at the rail yard were currently talking to its owner, who was implied to be someone other than the person making the messages. And as for the help messages, they were allegedly written by a guy named Jose, who was homeless and, in the words of the woman, he needs help himself. She didn't know where he lived, but she had seen him before and noted that he wouldn't stop. LA Guy went to the front to ask around some more. Here, he learned that the dog he saw earlier was named Seuss, and got additional confirmation that a man named Jose was behind the messages. Over the next few days, he tried to track down Jose, going back to the yard at night and asking around. Seuss had disappeared, and in LA Guy's words, "It's all nebulous. They own the dog, or know the owner, or something. It's loved, but the owner lives there, but doesn't live there." On January 31st, 5 days after the messages caught the internet's attention, he came back to find that there was security on the property. There is now site security as well as private security. I marked out the license plate and name of the company because I am verifying information. I called the company and they claim they are not there on official business. Afterward, a man on the property threatened him. The same man was spotted by 2 other ex-users looking into the property, I Kick AOE and FaZe Lacey. He He would then find another woman who could potentially get him in touch with Jose. She said she would reach out to him later, him being LA guy, and said that she hadn't seen Jose in about a week. Also, by that point, the sign had been turned into a particularly unpleasant symbol. In the meantime, he went into the yard to look at the messages up close. As you can see, it wasn't just the symbol that was rearranged. Personally, I'm gonna chalk that up to just spontaneous vandalism. This situation was viral, and LA Guy's posts alone had millions of views. So someone probably snuck in between the 27th and the 31st, thinking they were about to do the funniest thing ever. After that, there would be no updates for about 2 weeks. On February 12th, 2025, he posted, "One of the people that lives there texted me earlier tonight about police activity. It seems Union Pacific or someone else wanted the encampment of homeless gone. Earlier tonight, there were tons of LAPD. They want all of Union Pacific property cleared out." LAPD claims no idea what the help signs are or who is doing them. They just had orders to clear the place. The final update was, "Looks like Union Pacific did a full cleanup of people and signs. They scrubbed the place." And that brings an end to a rather interesting story. Something I noticed was the LAPD's response. The ABC 7 article came out on the 27th, just 2 days after the messages were found, and said that LAPD had looked into it and found no wrongdoing. But on February 12th, they decided to act and cleared out the area anyway. I think what changed was that the situation was really catching people's attention. Even Mudahar made a video about it, so there was probably just a bunch of people trespassing onto this Union Pacific Railroad property and just poking around. So naturally the response was to get rid of the messages, drive out the homeless people, and give people nothing to show up for. I also saw some people bring up that obscure conspiracy theory about the company Cemex being a front for human trafficking, and that this rail yard was allegedly one of the locations they serviced. I also saw talk about tunnels that passed beneath the rail yard and went to other similar locations. But that was just that, a conspiracy theory. In the end, it turned out to be the work of a homeless man and internet speculation, or at least I'm 99% sure it was. I'm glad this mystery had a pretty clear path from beginning to end, because not all of them do. If you want a mystery with a bit more ambiguity to it, check out my video on the bizarre death of Teteke Kutsi. Thank you for watching.